Hello everyone, it's Nasback here again. You know what it is, it's live Monday and we're here to finish the mechanic we started last stream. It's gonna be great, you're gonna love it and I bet it. So, what we're gonna do is the following. Just give me 1 second. Okay. And so what we're here to do is finish the throwing dagger mechanic. We started it last stream, and what had to be done was throw the dagger. But for that, we implemented some features. They're lacking some things, so for now, we're going to finish it and trying to make it stick to something when it hits, making it collectible, and dealing damage to enemies. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to make it all on this stream only, but I'll do the best I can and I'll try to bring you along. So, okay, now head back into Unity. First thing, it's like normal things. Just for you to be aware of where we are at. Let me show you. Okay, so we are facing towards the mouse, don't forget that. And so he shoots in the direction. Okay, he shot 3 daggers, he no longer has daggers. Okay, but now we're going to make it stick to the surfaces. To accomplish that, we need to go to this thingy, which I don't recall the name. I'll just call it platform so I don't forget it. Platform. Platform. Done. This is the background. No need to check it. The pivot point, this has to do with the shooting. But now we gotta go into the dagger. And we have a dagger destroyer. I'm not really sure if we had to have this. But now let's check it out. Okay. Let me boot up the coding scene. I need to make it like this. Okay. Now you should be seeing the coding scene. Okay. So let's start and get the player. Yeah, if the dagger is too far from the player, the dagger will get destroyed. Simple script does a simple thing. But okay, so now to give the dagger, we should have a dagger controller that should be attached to the dagger, and maybe we shouldn't call it dagger destroyer because it's a bit specific. But I'm not sure we can change it. But what I'll do is I'll copy the code and delete the file because there are some problems with namings. Sometimes when you name a script a certain way, then if you try to rename it, there will be some conflicts with Visual Studio and Unity, and they will have different names, and the script will have a name written on it, and the references in other places will be different, so it's not really the best way. I prefer to simply delete this and paste it in another new file. If we lose it, it's a simple code which I can simply write again and won't take much longer. Right now I'm in Unity, but I don't think you need to see it because I'm simply going to delete the previous script and create a new one called dagger controller, which should be a good starting point for the dagger script. Okay, now you see it. Okay, you do, and we can save it. D is attached to a component is always attached to a game object. The game object this component is attached to component is object dot destroy. Okay, it says this is obsolete. Okay, dot destroy. I guess this is the way to go now. No longer. Okay, object dot destroy immediate. Okay, destroy, but we need to pass it an object and a float. Only a sign. Okay, I'll let me just see what it recommends. Okay, it says that it's deprecated and to use object dot destroy. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense to me, but I'll keep it because it makes no big difference. Anyone in the chat, hope you're liking it, hoping you're having fun. Doing this for you guys. And for me as well. I want this just to be a community. I hope you can have fun. Also, really important announcement. I made a Discord channel, a Discord server, I mean, which has many people, and hope to see you there, to see you participating, because we're having fun. There's already some people there when we're chatting and we're getting to know each other. It's really fun, because the point is not to gather there my followers, is to make a community of people with common interest in game dev. I just happen to be the admin of the server. Nothing more, nothing less, simply that. Of course, it has my info, my socials, but you can also showcase your games there and talk about game dev and many other things. Getting back to the code, this will be the controller, and so we'll need to check when it collides with something, and when it does, I'm going to make it make the dagger, because right now, let me open the prefab and maybe assign it the script that it must have, dagger controller. Can't add a script because the script class cannot be found. Oh, okay. Because of this. See, the naming conventions sometimes create some problems, but should be all set now. Okay, wait for it to compile. And I'm sorry, I'm always forgetting to change scenes. It's a problem I have. I need to get used to it. But now I added the script to the dagger, and it says it's missing. Okay, because this one is deleted, I just need to remove this one. The player, I can assign it. Let me just lock this view. Go back, save the changes. Oh, and that happened. Okay, but I guess I can. Yeah, but we're finding it here, so there is no problem. We solved that last stream. For now, what we gotta do is try to script it. Let me just open Notion where I have my notes set. Here in content, project. Nope. Is this it? No, it's under streams and stream. Okay. Okay. So the objective is going back. Just see if this works. Okay, it works. The objective is on collision enter, which means when it collides with something, we're going to check if the collision happened. When the collision happens, we're going to check with what it happened. So if it's a wall, just stick there, or any environment, just stick there and wait a few seconds before going back to the player or getting picked up again. If it's an enemy, stay there, deal damage, and only be picked up when the player kills the enemy, and then it can go back, or the player can pick it up himself. That's the idea. So that makes for a more challenging and more thoughtful use of the daggers, and not simply a shooting game, because that's not my objective. My objective is to make a fighting complex yet intriguing system. For that I need to learn a lot more things, of course, but I count on your help to do so. And okay. Private void collision enter. On collision enter, first thing is this dot a rigid body. We need to get the rigid body, so let's do just this first. Public rigid body to the RB. Typical name, you know what it is, you know where to go. RB equals game object dot get I think I can do only get component, right? No? Get component, yeah, for sure. Get component of rigid body 2D. Need to open the parentheses, which I always used to forget. And now I'm kind of used to it. Okay, so I have an RB. So now let's go to RB dot is kinematic equals true. Okay, so if I'm correct, when this collides with something, including the ground or the walls, it becomes kinematic. And yeah, but we're going to make this a state. And one more thing I would like to talk to you guys. In my game, I'm going to make it revolve around finite state machines. And if you don't know what it is, it's basically when you have each object, or for example the player, has many states. You can have, for example, jumping, attacking, running, swimming, falling, for example. Imagine it has these 5 states, and they all go from a class up here, and it gets redefined depending on the state that he's in. So for example, it has a state class, and once the other script determines that it should enter in the running mode, then it will go into the running state, and the running state will redefine the whole class up here, and these ones can't do anything. So we don't have the thing about like a conflict when jumping and it goes through falling again because it's mid-air. No, you're simply one state at a time, and it allows for many things. Also, it gives some restrictions, so you need to be thoughtful about it. You need to be careful with, for example, you might want to be jumping and attacking at the same time, so you need to reconcile for that. But for attacking, I want the dagger to have a state where it's thrown, stuck, and returning, for example. And when it's thrown, it has a velocity. It's checking if it is destroyed. When it's stuck, it is kinematic. It doesn't deal damage anymore, only before it does, only when it's thrown, and can be picked up. When it's going back, it deals damage, it no longer collides with things, and only if it's the player, if it collides with the player, then pick it up. That's the idea. But that's a whole reconstruction of the game that I'm going to do off stream because it would be boring, or maybe I can do it next stream. That should be the topic for next stream. Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe Wednesday I'll stream reconstructing the code in a way that it becomes a finite state machine, you know? Okay. So let's see. One more thing. 2 visualizations. Thank you guys for being there, for being supportive. I really appreciate you. Thank you for the likes, although they're not many, there are a few, but I still appreciate every single one of you. And you'll see me saying this from today till the end of my YouTube career, let's say, whether I have 1 million or 1 subscriber. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna thank you, each and every one of you. Thank you guys. So if this is working, the dagger should stop at least when it hits. I'm not expecting it to be a huge deal, but I'm expecting it to at least stop, okay? So I don't know if any of these have a collider, but if they do, it should stop. I guess it doesn't have a collider. Let me check. It does have a collider. But does the dagger though? I guess the dagger does not. Yeah, the dagger doesn't have a collider. So we need to take care of that. How can we check for collision if we don't have a collider? That's the whole purpose of it. And I guess I don't really want the collision to happen. I just want to know if it happened. So I'm going to make it a trigger. So instead of on collision enter, I'm going to say on trigger enter. I guess that will be a better idea. So I'll make it a box collider 2D and add it. I'm leaving it a bit far off, and before making games I would used to think, why don't they just make it like really strict to the border? And then I listened to some explanations from more experienced people. The computer is so precise that sometimes our eyes don't catch it. And if we stick to the borders of the image, sometimes to our eyes it might seem like it hits something when in fact it didn't, and the player will feel betrayed by that and feel cheated by that. And so you always make the colliders a bit bigger than the hitbox, a little bit bigger than the actual sprite, to give that impression to the player. You make everything that's in favor of the player bigger and everything that's against the player smaller, so it gives them a lot of more room for error. And I'll make the box collider is trigger because, as I said, don't want to collide, which means to push something. I just want to know if it did. And that's it. That I should save the prefab and go back. And now let me change the code as well. I'm sorry you guys are not seeing. I keep forgetting to change scenes. If any of you guys are there, please hit me up and annoy me about not changing scenes. It's really something I gotta improve on my streams. Hope you're there, willing to accept my errors. But now I'm going back into Unity and I changed scene. Okay, so let's play, and now something should at least happen. I hope. Okay, it's not happening, but I'll maybe not limit the dagger throw for a while, just to make sure that that we can in fact pass the game without being limited by that. That's only meant for the player to experience when playing the game. Although one thing I want to do is a kind of debugging, and on collision and on trigger enter, I want to give a debug.log which will print something to the console, and I want to print the, for example, don't want the collision, I hit something. Yeah. Okay. Going back into Unity. Didn't forget to change scenes. Getting the hang of it. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. So now be focused here on the console, because if the trigger is happening, we should see a message being printed to the console. If we don't see it, oh, okay, we have a script error. I'm a bit dumb. Okay, let me just cut this and erase this, and let me do on trigger enter 2D. Okay, I don't know why it wasn't working, but now it should be. Okay, I simply rewrote the same thing that was there and the error disappeared, and let's see if it checks. Please, please. Tell me it hit something. Okay, it knows it hit something. Okay, but it's hitting the player when it spawns. Okay, but that's what the state will be for. When it's thrown, the collision with the player will be ignored. And for now, we will ignore it. So we'll do if collision dot game no collision dot game object dot name equals player. Okay, so we'll simply print and make it kinematic if this is not true, which means if it didn't collide with the player. But it's giving me an error and I'm not understanding why. Just 1 second. I'll check right now. Cannot be applied to the operand of type string. Okay, let me just do this maybe. Okay. Simple logic being applied there. Ah, and I forgot to change scenes again. No. Okay, now it's bugged. Okay. You're in Unity, I'm in Unity. Now we're correct. Okay. Now we're fine, now we're ready to go. Okay, so debug dash is false. And it knows it hit something. Okay, I didn't save the other script. 1 second, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. Should be up and running right now. Okay. But I'm not understanding why it's not making it kinematic. Okay, and I'm not understanding why it's not throwing things anymore. Is the code? It's under dagger throw. Dagger count, I want it to be set to 1,000. Oh, okay, I know. Okay, and the other thing I'm not quite understanding is why is it not throwing to the correct direction? I thought I fixed it last time. Okay, so under here, attack point. Okay, it seems to be always a bit off. And I thought I had fixed it. Why is it not fixed anymore? For example, it changes correctly, but then the rotation seems a bit off. Maybe it has something to do with the pivot points not being centered with the player. The attack points. Okay, it seems, for example, right here, it shouldn't be up there. See, it should be up here. We need to fix this. How? Not quite sure, because it seems a bit off with the mouse. I was not really intending to take care of this right now. But on the rotation... Okay, so we have the throw. Throw force, attack point dot up. Where am I getting the mouse position from? Here, right? Well, I'm a bit forgotten about what happened. The attack point dot position. But where is the attack point dot position? Okay, I'm really confused. Because check it out, Mika. when it throws, the dagger count decreases, but it's not here, right? This is the attack animation. Where is the calculation? Is it here? Oh, it's here. Okay. Bam. But I want one thing. I think the problem might be when starting the game. For example, if I'm here, if I put the mouse right there, it has a slight difference from where my mouse is and where it seems almost like it should be -80. It's a bit closer, but no, it's -90. But the position, the Euler angle, it seems off. Should it not be local? Should it be simply Euler angle? Okay. I doubt it. It's really doesn't look like this should be the problem. But it doesn't hurt to try, does it? Okay, it is not the problem, and I'm not getting a good fix. Huh. For example, you see, I have my mouse on the foot of a player, and so for example, I have it on the head, and it throws a lot higher, like a lot higher. And I'm really intrigued by it because okay, so this will could it be this? No, because it's this is really getting me confused. It seems to be a rotation problem, but it's not. Or is it? No, it's not. It seems to be a positioning problem. So it has to do with the angle with which he's rotating. Okay, so I'll set this to 0. No, can't be here, but I'll set this to 0. Okay. And I'll set this to -90. Okay. Ah. Why? It makes totally no sense. no sense at all. I'm really bugged by it. Should be forward. This is getting on my nerves. For real though. Because see, I have it on his head. And is first of all, this is up. Oh, this really is up. And this really needs to be rotated negative 90, but it's for other reasons. So we're back to where we were at. Why does it have that difference? Why though? Okay. So for example, okay, let me just get one thing clear. Here I'm adding the the attack points are transform. Attack point transform. Attack point transform. Let me see if I set the pivot. And if I put it here. Okay, let me just rotate this negative 90. No, this to... Oh, so I bet this is it. I bet this is it. I bet this is it. Please, this... It is not. Fuck. How the hell? Negative 90. So this should be 0. But I'm really sure why this is happening. Really not sure. Because if all the directions are correct, if all the rotations, everything, why is this not going to the right place? For example, you see, I'm pointing at the top of that rock, and it goes a lot to the side. It almost seems like the angle is being wrongfully calculated. Let me do this in vector 3. This vector 3. I don't know, I'm getting desperate. Like, I'm really desperate. Because we get the vector, and then we get the angle. And then we convert it to red degree. Okay, so the only way to really get this is the following. Create a variable, which is public angle, public float, angle correction. Okay. And then here on the angle, I'm simply going to add the angle correction. So that when I go into Unity, the idea is that I can tweak it by hand and see where it falls to the correct direction. And then it might work. I don't know. I'm bleh. Like, why? Why is this not working? Okay, so now let's test it. Okay. See, that's the difference right there. Okay, so here on the player, can lock this view and go here. And on the angle correction, somewhere here. Okay. So now it's too much. Guys, I officially need help. Because this should be working and it's not. Oh, okay, I got the problem. It took me a while, but I don't know how to fix this, and that's a problem. So, what I'll do is I'll get rid of the attack point. Here, the transform will be the pivot. The pivot will go up to his head. And that'll be it. And so, okay, of course I need to rotate it now. Oof, that's a tough one. And give me just 1 second and I'll make sure that I will explain this all properly to you. Okay, so here the player. The script, the attack point is the pivot. So here, okay, you're sending it off to the wrong location. Would you mind? Okay, so if this is 0, if okay, it saved it. Okay. The attack point on the dagger throw is a pivot. Okay, okay. And so the calculations for the attack point were being done in the pivot point to make it rotate around. But what that makes is the fall. Since the attack point is distance from the pivot, when the pivot rotates, the according rotation attack point is not the same. Because there's some difference because the calculations are being applied to this one. And so they're not accurate. That's why even after correcting the angle, it was still going off. So, what I guess I could do is simply throw it from his head. I might figure out a solution, not right now, because it's getting late. But if I check this, it should all be good. Okay, let me go here. See if this is getting... Okay, why are you keep... I'm fuming. I'm fuming right now. I really am. This is minus 90. Okay, I changed the degree on the calculations and I'm not even sure if that will work. Let me see. Okay, but it's still throwing it wrong. And there's another problem, which I didn't even get into, which is the RB is not being set kinematic. I mean, if it is, it's not stopped at all. So I'm getting really pissed off, like a lot. And so what I'll do, work on it till Wednesday. I will stream the reformulation of the code, where I'll make all this into a finite state machine. At least that's my objective. If I can't, I will simply finish this, and that will be for Monday, which is also an option because I need some time to work on it and think the design through. Also going to get a bit more into detail on this so we don't have this problem when I get back. But for now, this is it. So, still, after all the stress, I'm going to thank you guys because you were here, you watched it, whether live or on YouTube, and that means a lot to me. I need to thank you a lot for supporting me and sticking through my mind blowns where I think I've discovered something when I actually didn't, because sometimes I am dumb. which I'm probably am right now, but I'm tired and so I'm going to sleep. Although, thank you. If you'd like to see my content, it would really mean a lot to me if you could subscribe and give it a like. Also, if you want to follow me on other social medias, like you have my Instagram, it's at NasGamesOfficial, and Twitter, which is Instagram is at NasGamesOfficial, Twitter is at Nas_games, and also I have my Discord channel, which will be in the description down below. And where many things are happening. I said it before, I'm saying it again right now. But I wait for you. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have fun. Also, next stream, it's promised here. Next stream, no, next week, promised. I won't fail you. I will have a controller to play Celeste with you guys. It will be the first time. It will have a video on it where I will be analyzing, where a game dev analyzes another game. I hope you enjoy that content. If you do, please say so below. I really appreciate that opinion. See you guys.